Hello and welcome to Father of Two Plays Pillars of Eternity Blind. I don't know anything about this game except that it was a Kickstarter project and that Obsidian Entertainment made it. I like Obsidian Entertainment's games, all the ones I've tried, and I'm currently playing Baldur's Gate, which is done in the same style, or that is to say, this game is in the style of Baldur's Gate. I've never played Baldur's Gate, and I'm new to this type of game, so I thought I would give the modern comparison a try, as well as its more classic brother. So, let's go hard mode, I think, because I was getting better at the other game. I feel I could try hard and see how well I do. I'm not going to go with expert or Trial of Iron, though both of those sound good to me and I might do them in the future. Let's see what happens. I'm really excited. I love Obsidian Entertainment. The only game I could think of offhand that they did is Knights of the Old Republic 2, and that was a really good game and could have been a superb game if it had all its content and they weren't forced to release early. You can change the portraits of your main character and adventurers through the current portrait on their character sheet. Oh, that's a neat
5 wagons grope
feature.
blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern, his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Well, if that doesn't get you in the mood for adventure, I don't know what will. This is just a beautiful painting, and the music is superb. Voice acting was quite excellent as well. I'm so ready. Oh, I get to make a character now. We shall be a male. Human. Humans, commonly called folk, Togov would like that, are the most common race in the Drywood. Direwood? Direwood. Oh, that's kind of a cool feature. I can just mouse over this and get a... Oh. Okay, well let's finish reading and then go back and read about the things. The most common race in Direwood, the Anterior Empire, Old Valia, and the Valian Republics, though not as large as the towering Aumau. Humans are known for their strength and willpower, so resolve and might. Drywood, I was going to say again. Direwood, a colonial nation founded by settlers from Anterior Empire. Anterior. Following a series of conflicts with Anterior, the territory became independent in 2672 AI, and is now ruled by a duke, who is elected by 7 earls and oversee his earldoms. So it's a fiefdom. Valian Republics. A mercantile power and former colony of a larger, more ancient nation, Old Valia. Vale? I don't know how to pronounce that. Oops, I moved the mouse. The Republic lies to the south of Direwood and Aer Glenfath, and are ruled by a duke elected by the Consigli Asagia, a council of 14 dukes, including its 5 most prominent. The Duke's Bells. Okay. Oh, that guy's cool looking. Oh, I could spin him around like so. Okay, I'm done with that. The mighty Aumai are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Rautai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. I wonder how different they can look. Dwarf? He's adorable. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in Direwood and the Valian republics. And almost any colonized land, dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. Okay. Elves. Or elves. Elves are the dominant race in Glanfath, and the white that wens are extremely common. And the white that wens and are extremely common in the Direwood and Edir. Elves are known for their speed, intelligence, as well as commonly isolationist nature. Orlon. Oh, he's kind of cool. Neat. Orlon are the smallest of the Kith races. What are the Kith? I didn't read. Let's read Glenfath here. A territory comprised of the forest southeast of the Bell River, populated indigenously by a group of loosely affiliated tribes collectively known as Glanfathans, and governed by a council of its 6 most powerful tribes. Glanfath is home to a large number of ruined Engwithan sites, which Glanfathans hold sacred. The ruins have been at the center of a number of large-scale conflicts with Direwooden colonists. Oops, I moved the mouse there. Whose settlements often encroach on Glanfathan territory and who frequently seek to plunder the ruins for their relics. That's a really cool feature. I hope that's everywhere in the game. Oh, and we can see what the stats do. That's cool. I'm sure we'll do that when we get to our attributes over here. Orlan are the smallest of the Kith races, though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsite bodies, Orlan are commonly found in Glanfath, the Examital Plains, and parts of Direwood. They are known for their mental intensity and quickness. And a godlike. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. The godlike are the children of the Kith, civilized races who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. Dexterity and intellect. Hey, I kind of like the godlike, but I kind of like these guys too. I think I'm going to go with a godlike though. I was thinking elf, because I'm a half-elf in the other game, but this is kind of cool and unique. So, oh, okay, we have several varieties. Is it the same for, say, humans? Yes, that's kind of cool. Let's take a quick look at our Aumau or Aumai varieties. Coastal and island. Oh, that's cool. So let's check out the godlike differences. Death, fire, moon, and nature. Let's read about death godlikes. Death godlike are the most distrusted of their kind. Strange growths cover their eyes, or in some cases entire faces, giving them a sinister appearance. The growths are transparent for the godlike, but opaque from the outside, hidden from their features. Death godlike are commonly killed at birth because many cultures consider them to be harbingers of doom. Death's Usher. When death godlike attack an enemy with 25% or less endurance, their damage is increased. Wow, what does it say about death? On certain difficulty settings, if a character is reduced to 0 health, he or she goes down and is either maimed or, if already maimed, killed. A dead character is killed outright and cannot be brought back. Oh, okay, so it just explained death in the game to us, I see. Fire godlike. That's a little different. Do they, like, change every time I switch back? No, but I bet you I could change up their head deals and stuff. Their horns and the like. The bodies of fire godlike often resemble hot metal, burnt wood, or stone, with harmless flames that erupt from the cracks in their skin. Fire godlike are objects of both reverence and fear in the Deadfire Archipelago. Many locals believe they have the power to awaken volcanoes, or that killing one will reduce or cause a volcano to awaken. In Direwood, fire godlike are often seen as a sign of the blessing of Magran, goddess of war and fire. Goddess of war, fire, transformation, purification, consumption, and trials, patron goddess of the Direwood. Though to have blessed the Godhammer bomb that destroyed, thought to have blessed the Godhammer bomb that destroyed Waidwen and possibly Athos. Battleforge, when reduced below 50% endurance. Fire godlike glow like metal in a forge, gaining damage reduction and doing a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. That's cool. Okay, moon godlike. Moon godlike are the most tolerated of the godlike. While their skin tone and large moon-like growths on their foreheads may be strange to some, their appearances are generally considered more palatable by the other kith. Sailors have many beliefs about moon godlike and their propensity to bring luck, though there is little agreement as to what kind of luck they tend to bring. Silver Tide. Every encounter, when reduced below 75, 50, and 25 endurance, moon godlike generate waves of healing moonlight that restore endurance to them and their allies. Well, that's cool. I do like to be a bit of a paladin or a, warrior healer. Nature godlike. He's cool looking. Nature godlike appear to be a fusion of human and animal features, often covered by plants, moss, or fungi. This has led to the common stigma that they are diseased, and many are killed at birth because of it. Many druidic orders have a keen interest in nature godlike because of their general curiosity as to how souls occupy animals, plants, and stones. Wellspring of Life grants a bonus to might, constitution, and dexterity when endurance is below 50. Well, for me it's between the death and the moon. And I kind of want to go death and be an especially good guy, even though, they tried to kill me at birth. But then the moon godlike has a pretty cool power. I'm very torn here. But I think I'm going to go with my first instinct and be a death godlike. Body type. Oh, I see. Godlike could be of any size, so he could be an especially big death godlike. Okay. So this is our classes. Well, let's start with barbarians and work our way to wizard. Brutes, madmen, berserkers. Though city-dwelling people often use the term barbarian with a dose of disrespect, these rural warriors are respected for their communities, by their communities for their ferocity and fearsome presence on the battlefield. Barbarians have a special, almost religious role in some cultures, but in many places, the undisciplined, fearless style of the barbarian is simply how warriors conduct themselves. Athletics up, survival up. Those must be skills. Endurance, very high. Endurance, accuracy, deflection. Okay. I don't know what those mean necessarily at this point, but that doesn't matter that much, I don't think. A little bit of a frame rate drop in the one part of the breathing there. It seems weird to me. In every culture across Eora, there are Chanters. Many historians consider Chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic, their hallowed phrases stirring the collective memory of the wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in a kind of reenactment. In some societies, Chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in most parts of the world, they are just a time-honored part of local folk traditions. Chants. All Chanters can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a Chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Invocations, powerful magical effects that chanters can create after they have spoken a required number of phrases through their chants. Lore and mechanics go up. Okay. A Cipher. Sounds kind of like a spy. A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach, ciphers were once called Brishalgwyn Mind Hunters by the Glanfathans. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate other person's soul and psyche, using an ally or enemy's essence as the focus for their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, practitioners of the technique have spread throughout the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Powers. Ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of their soul whip. Huh. Stealth lore mechanics. Okay. Next, Druid. Animists at heart, Druids tap into the spiritual power that flows through the simple living things of Eora. Okay, I can't pronounce that. Plants, animals, and sometimes even living stone. While not necessarily religious, Druids do have a reverence for the natural world and keen interest in understanding its mysteries. In most cultures, Druids are understood as a sort of primal magician, but among the Glanfathans, Nasatiki, and many rural cultures, they may have high positions of influence and authority. Got mushmouth again today. Spirit Shift. Starting abilities. All druids have mastered one animalistic form. These forms give the druid strong abilities, melee abilities, and grant an additional power while the druid is shifted. Spells. Druids have access to a variety of offensive, and some support-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, druids automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As druids gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Ooh, that's cool. Fighter. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach. Though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure, fighters can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. The common element that unifies fighters is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Starting abilities. Constant recovery. Fighters continually regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat. Alright. Monk. Monks belong to a variety of fighting orders that have sprung up in the Ixamital and Eastern Reach over the past few centuries. While many monastic orders can trace their teachings to the enduring founder, Tletak, individual organizations vary greatly in their focus, morality, and ethics. Common folk respect the incredible discipline of monks, but see them as odd, unpredictable bunch who may not be entirely sane. Even mercenaries and their adventurers aren't sure what to make of them. Starting ability, Transcendent Suffering. When monks have no weapon equipped, their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. Cool. Wounds. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. Huh. A Paladin. Paladins are martial zealots devoted to a god, a ruler, or even a way of life. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. Among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration, if a bit of fear. Many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies, but in the heat of battle their fanaticism often overrules the chain of command and common sense. Starting ability, Faith and Conviction. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may shift based on the reputations the paladin gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. Well, that's kind of a cool mechanic, so we have to act a certain way if we choose to be a certain type of paladin. I might just go with ranger, though, because I'm a ranger in Baldur's Gate. Priest. Priests are devotees of Eora's light, and practitioners of religious magic. While all priests dedicate themselves to a specific god, or specific gods, priests' power is actually derived from their personal beliefs. In contrast to most paladins, priests tend to focus on philosophy, teaching, and the relationship of religious organizations with common folk. The reception of priests in any given part of the world depends largely on how their god is revered or reviled by the people who live there. Starting abilities, Holy Radiance generates a modest amount of endurance for all allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations the priest gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her deity. Spells. Priests have access to a variety of support and some offense-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As priests gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Okay. Rangers are warriors of the woodland and masters of the hunt, always partnered with the soul-bonded animal companions. They can be found in wild spaces all over the world. As their lifestyles often tend towards independence and isolation, it is rare for rangers to become an integral part of a large fighting force, though they are often employed as scouts and guides. Starting ability, Animal Companion. All rangers share a strong bond with an animal companion. The companion fights at the ranger's command, and it's extremely valuable for its ability to run interference. Animal companions don't do much damage, but they have a high damage reduction. The link between the ranger and his companion is powerful. If one goes down in battle, the other suffers as well. Well, that's pretty cool. I think I might go with that. Rogue. Rogues are vicious killers feared for the brutality of their attacks. They can be found as often in dark back alleys as at the heart of battlefield skirmishes. Though unpredictable and undisciplined, rogues are commonly used as shock troopers. Damage types: slash, pierce, crush, burn, shock, corrode, freeze, and raw. Oh, but I think that's referring to like shock, like lightning. Or as part of surprise assault. Their withering attacks breaking enemy ranks and morale. Rogues tend to congregate in larger numbers in cities where they can be steadily employed as mercenaries or hired muscle. Starting ability, Sneak Attack. Applied bonus damage to the rogue's ranged and melee weapon attacks when the target has any of the following afflictions: blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, stuck, stunned, or weakened. It is also applied to any target the rogue strikes with a weapon within the first 2 seconds of combat. Okay, last is Wizard. I think we all know what a wizard is. The masters of academic magic, wizards are students of arcane tradition that stretch back beyond the boundaries of recorded history. Wizards are a highly organized group, often forming academies or guilds devoted to research and development in magical studies. They tend to favor environments where inquiry, experimentation, debate, and the dissemination of knowledge are encouraged. Many accomplished wizards eventually become known for their eccentricity, their egos, and their unquenchable interest in all things arcane and occult. Starting abilities: Arcane Assault, mid-range attack that hits a small area for raw damage and can leave targets dazed. Spells: Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense spells. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast directly from their grimoires. Grimoires can hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level when they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times, and we know all that part. So, I'm kind of intrigued by the Chanter, by the Monk, and by the Ranger. But I think I'm going to go Ranger. So, next. Wounding Shot or Marked Prey. Do I pick these? I guess I do. As he or she would with fleeing prey, the hunter aims for a spot that will slow the target enemy's progression, hobbling the target and inflicting raw damage over time. 2 per encounter. That's pretty good. 1 per encounter. Designates a single target as prey, giving the ranger and animal companion a damage bonus against that target. We'll go with that. There we go. No, wait. Yeah, now we picked it. Okay. Animal companions: antelope, bear, boar, lion, stag, and wolf. Well, I'm gonna go with wolf. But I'll read a little bit about the antelope and everything else. Antelope companions have naturally superior defenses, deflection, fortitude, reflex, and will. We read this, didn't we? All rangers form a strong spiritual connection with a single creature, their animal companion. This connection allows rangers and their companions to coordinate attacks and efficiently take down prey. In most situations, the companion runs interference while the ranger attacks at a range. Despite these advantages, there are risks to the relationship. Rangers share a literal life bond with their animal companions. When one is wounded, they can sense it and feel intense emotional pain. They can sense it. I assume that's supposed to be they. If a ranger or animal companion are knocked unconscious, the partner suffers from bonded grief, affecting accuracy and other stats. Until the downed ally is revived, if a ranger is ever killed, the animal companion immediately dies from grief. Okay, we don't have to read the rest of this, just this top part. Bear companions have unusually high damage reduction, giving them superior protection from all forms of damage. Boar companions inflict more damage when they are below 50% endurance. Lion companions have the ability to terrify enemies with a powerful roar. Stags can activate a melee attack that does damage to all enemies in a small area around the main target. And wolf animal companions do high damage and can more easily avoid disengagement attacks. Yes, that is what we will take. You will be our wolf, and we will name you... Oh, we do get to name you. And we will name you... Oh goodness, I don't have a name ready. Woofy? Oh, you know what? I will name you... For the fallen dog I murdered in Baldur's Gate, Ruffy. Okay, which is a lot like Woofy, which is what I thought. Might represents a character's physical, spiritual strength, brute force, as well as their ability to channel powerful magic. During interactions, it could be useful for intimidating displays and acts of brute force. In combat, it contributes to both damage and healing, as well as fortitude defense. Highly recommended for a ranger. Constitution is a combination of the character's overall health and stamina, although it is not used much in interactions. It is sometimes checked to withstand pain or endure a physically taxing ordeal. In combat, it affects maximum health and endurance and contributes to the fortitude defense. Dexterity is an abstraction of a character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace. In interactions, it can be used for sleight of hand and fast reactions. In combat, it affects the character's action speed with all attacks, spells, and abilities, and contributes to reflex defense. We might go into that. Recommended. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Perception represents a character's senses as well as their instinctive ability to pick up on details. In interactions, it can be used to catch someone in a lie, to make an observant comment about their appearance, or to notice something happening in the background. In combat, it contributes to accuracy and reflex defense and grants a bonus to interrupt. I think I'll go into that a fair amount. Intellect. Intellect represents a character's logic and reasoning capabilities. In interactions, it can be useful for deduction, sudden realizations, and problem solving. In combat, it contributes to will, defense, and influences durations and area of effect for all abilities and talents. Resolve reflects a character's internal drive, determination, fearlessness, and emotional intensity they can project to others. It can be useful for mental intimidation, leadership, and convincing performances. In combat, it can help characters maintain concentration and contributes to the will and deflection defenses. So we have 15 points. Well, we'll go... Oh, that's a minus, of course. That makes sense. Let's go a couple into there. We're going to up our dexterity a little bit. Perception, I wouldn't mind getting fairly high, as well as intellect. Let's go fairly high into these two. We have 1 point left. Maybe a little more resolve or constitution? Maybe we'll actually go into perception even more. Accuracy, yeah, okay, we're gonna do that. That seems good. Culture, Adir, Deadfire Archipelago, Ixamatl Plains, Old Valia, Ratau, the Living Lands, the White That Wends. The Anterior Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the Empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, Greater Adir is at its heart and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. Okay, Deadfire Archipelago. Oh, it changes our equipment, eh? That's quite intriguing. The Adir, okay, we read that, of course. Consisting of the nations of Nasitik, dozens of Aumau settlements, and hundreds of lawless, pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea, Deadfire is home to the Boreal Dwarves, Aumau, and mixed varieties of other races. Deadfire Archipelago is the last stop for anyone headed east. A multitude of monstrous sea creatures infest the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. Ixamatl Plains. Located to the northeast of Erglanfath, the Ixamatl Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixamatl culture is that of the oldest in the world, one of the oldest in the world, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Old Valia. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbling remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Ratau. Rautai? Dominated by the Aumai nations of Ratai, the Gulf itself is host to a number of nations, most of them Aumau, Orlan, or Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the East. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who can take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. The Living Lands. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. The Living Lands are home to an assortment of races in a variety of colonial and independent settlements. The White That Wends. Sounds like a cold place. A large, cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Well, I'm going merely based on how it looks, and I guess a little bit what it sounds like. I'm going to go with this one. The Living Lands. So, we go next. Maybe I should up my might to 14 and have, like, 14. I'm thinking. but I can't. No, I'm gonna stick with what I have. Don't be indecisive. So we're from there. Now we have a background. Wow, I really like how much you could go into detail here. Colonist. You were part of a group that founded a fledgling colony in a distant land. Explorer. You found the siren call of the horizon irresistible. You cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and you've built your life around finding out. Laborer. Your life has been spent in the study of your craft. You're trained and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and ply your trade. Merchant. You've traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kinds. Drifter. You've never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You are most comfortable on the road, traveling the world. You live for the thrill of the chase, whether for glory or for sustenance. You have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. Mercenary. Blade in battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force. Scientist. The rules that govern the world are a set of alchemical formulae to you, waiting to be discovered and manipulated. Well, I'm thinking either drifter or hunter. I'm gonna go with hunter. And then we get to pick our appearance. Alright. Let's maybe pick a picture first. That's cool. Maybe there's only a couple of the race and sub-race that I am. But we'll give a good look through here. There's only 2 there in the female. So I think that we're out of luck for looking exactly like our picture. But we shall see. Those are clearly moon ones. Well, I like that picture better. Colors, primary and secondary, okay. Oh, for my armor. Okay. I like blue and red. I also like purple. Yeah, that looks good. Good enough. Head, 2 of 3. Okay. Well, I guess we will go with that one then, and then we do look like our picture. That's pretty cool. Voice.
Yes. Watch and learn.
Ah!
Hey there.
Sounds a little bit like Dennis Leary.
Now I am the leader of the group. Shh. I'm here. I'm flattered. Let's go.
My eyes are peeled.
Yeah? Leading the way. Finish them. Not a sound.
What is it?
I guess we'll go with that one.
I am the leader of the group.
Enter name. I will go with Halcyon. Rain. Not Fane. Rain. Because I like that name. Alright. Are we all done? I think we are. Exciting. What happens now? Journey to the Gilded Vale. Oh, it looks so good. Caravan Master Odema. The Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the Caravan Master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know
Thank
you
you.
want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Odema looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfell, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. He nods in your direction. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Okay. Where would I find these berries? What are those ruins? Is it dangerous out here? What are those huge rocks coming up out of the ground? Or leave? Well, I think we'll ask about the berries.
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Okay, then let's ask about the
Nothing you
ruins.
won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
What's in the
Of
effigy?
course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices depends on their individual personality and attitude. Okay. Who did build the
different
ruins?
names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans.
He
Nobody
shrugs.
liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous?
Not if you hurry about your business.
Fair enough.
Not if the weather holds up.
What kind of weather do they
This
get
time
out
of
here?
year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from?
Odema frowns.
Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul
Interesting.
butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well.
Odema
if
chuckles
anything.
and shakes his head. He looks at you. He casts a sidelong glance at her.
Off with you. Hayden
Odema's small grin recedes beneath his mustache,
We're in
and he is
harsh
stern
country.
once more.
Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Okay,
You heard the
welcome
man. Let's get going
to
before you
Pillars
keel
of
over.
Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Eora, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interface available to you. Your party always consists of your characters and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers. While the caravan is camped outside the Glanfathan ruins, I forget how he said that, Odema has assigned Kaliska to help you. Kaliska is a fighter, a class that excels in close-quarter defense. Use her abilities to complement your own. To select a party member, click on her selection circle, or their selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button that corresponds to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen and drag the marquee over the circles of the party member you'd like to include. Bet you I could shift-click them as well. To move selected characters, click anywhere on the screen where your cursor is a circle of 4 wedges. All selected characters will path to their corresponding positions in the formation. If you see a red circle with a slash through it, you cannot walk on that part of the map. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see an individual character's options, select only that character. Okay, we can zoom in and out. Wow, it looks really good.
Of course.
Of course. Okay. Anybody to talk to? Hoden? Let's, end the episode here, because I think it's been a long one. We'll find out what's happening next time. So, until next time, if you enjoyed it, please leave me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. This is FatherofTwo, signing off.